Throughout the duration of the Boruto series, Sasuke has taught Boruto a plethora of different techniques and abilities. Boruto may even possess abilities that he hasn't shown that Sasuke taught him. And today we're going to go over all these abilities. Because as of chapter 29 of Boruto TBV Vortex, he officially looks like a Sasuke clone. So before we hop into the video, I am experimenting with the new hype feature on YouTube. If we can get around like 400 people to hype the video, we can get pushed majorly into the YouTube algorithm. So I would greatly appreciate it if you guys and girls would help me out with that. But anyway, on to the video. So very early on, Boruto chose to have Sasuke be his primary sensei, aside from his assigned teacher, Konohamaru. Kinda similar to how Naruto had Kakashi as his assigned teacher, but Jiraiya ended up being his primary teacher because of how well his arsenal complemented Naruto. And for Boruto and Sasuke, to say they share that same relationship would be an understatement. Not only has Boruto mastered 3 separate chakra natures before he even became a genin, he's also considered a genius, just like Sasuke as a kid. Now, having Sasuke as a teacher comes with its own limitations, because just like any other character that possesses Kekkei Genkai, they have a lot of abilities that are only unique to them, meaning no matter how much you train, you will not be able to use specific abilities. And as it pertains to Boruto, this means you probably won't see him running around doing things that can only be done with Sharingan or Rinnegan, like Amaterasu, Ame no Teijikara. Even something like Chidori isn't wise to teach Boruto because he doesn't have the Sharingan in order to control it. But even though this fact still stands, there's some alternatives to these abilities that either Boruto can do now or Sasuke might have taught Boruto. Like, for example, he's not going to do Ame no Teijikara because he doesn't possess the 6 Tomoe Rinnegan, but he has the Flying Raijin ability, which although works differently, it still offers very similar mobility in battle. So you can say this is an alternative to that ability that better suits Boruto's character, and also what he's trying to accomplish. So at the beginning of their training, the requirement for Boruto to even become Sasuke's student was for him to be able to form a Rasengan. He didn't even need to master it. Sasuke just wanted to see the beginning stages of the technique, as he was going to accept Boruto as a student before he ran off, even though his Rasengan was massively underdeveloped in terms of size. The first time we see Boruto and Sasuke actually training though, Sasuke is teaching Boruto his Shurikenjutsu, the perfect technique to start out because it doesn't require chakra consumption or Kekkei Genkai. It takes the foundation of Boruto's overall skills as a shinobi and expands on it, which is very important for any shinobi before they start learning more advanced techniques. So this specific technique isn't anything crazy. At first, Boruto was shown to not being very good at it, even going as far as to create excuses for himself as for why he wasn't able to do it, saying it's an Uchiha bloodline thing, etc. But little did he know, it wasn't. He just wasn't used to struggling to do something when he first started doing it. Like everything you do in life, you're gonna struggle at first. And for this specific technique, we're able to see just how much better Boruto got at it after the time skip. Actually, the usage of ninja tools is now essential to his fighting style because of its relation to his Flying Raijin technique. So thanks to Sasuke teaching him this technique, he was able to better utilize one of his most overpowered techniques currently in his arsenal, which is literally the purpose of Shurikenjutsu, to combine it with taijutsu, ninjutsu, or chakra flow to create more devastating attacks. So examples of how Boruto uses this in combat is as you see on the screen. Boruto using Shurikenjutsu in combination with FTG to catch his opponents off guard. He then lands a heavy blow with a Rasengan or a sword slice to his opponent. And actually in the latest chapter, he used this technique in combination with the byakugan to see and hit a target that's on the other side of the building. So for the first time, we're seeing how this technique would work with other dojutsu besides the Sharingan. And I think that's really cool, because it's like Boruto is taking these techniques and adding his own twist to it according to his own abilities, showing us the full results of his training with Sasuke. So next, and this one is very obvious if you even read TBV Vortex, I'm talking about Boruto's new proficiency in the art of kenjutsu. So after the time skip, this became Boruto's primary way of fighting. The purpose of fighting with a sword is for enhanced close quarters combat, versatility, and to channel his lightning ninjutsu. The sword is literally an extension of the body. It allows him to attack with speed and accuracy, which can be used for both offense and defense. And we can see Boruto training with his own training blade throughout the time skip, with Sasuke mentioning how he taught Boruto almost all the moves and methods that he knows. Now, this can be pertaining to only his moves with a blade, or it could mean moves as in techniques or abilities. But him saying that in this context has me leaning more towards him saying that he already taught Boruto his moves with the sword, with the exception of things he technically can't do because he doesn't have the necessary Kekkei Genkai. But other than that, Sasuke has taught Boruto a lot of ways to use a sword, including all the moves that you see him do throughout the series, which includes spin attacks, front flip slices, and one-on-one combat. He's also taught him how to stream lightning through conductors, and it just so happens that Sasuke conducts his own electricity through his sword, and also his shuriken. The electricity that he channels through these objects allows for his sword to cut through almost anything, including steel. And if it connects with the enemy, it instantly paralyzes them because of the shock, which will force enemies to have to avoid these strikes and not block it, because the electricity makes it unblockable. So like I said earlier, sometimes Boruto is going to have to use alternatives for some of Sasuke's techniques, because he can't perform the Chidori. He never will be able to. And Sasuke uses the Chidori to encase his sword with lightning. So instead of that, Boruto uses purple lightning, which is much more versatile than the Chidori because of its properties. So we see Boruto enhancing his blade with purple lightning quite a lot in the story so far. He used it against Mitsuki, and when he did, he was able to cut through his snakes and clones like butter, and he used it against Jura to temporarily paralyze him. The lightning enhances the cutting power of the blade. Same thing with Shuriken. It causes them to do more damage. So in general, this is a good technique to master, and it's helped Boruto more times than not. Even though it doesn't feel like it, that's already like 3 different techniques that Sasuke taught Boruto. And that brings me into my next topic of discussion, which is literally Boruto's own variant of the Chidori. Like I said, as of the time I'm creating this video, we're only on chapter 29 of Tubular Vortex, which means there is several abilities that Boruto went through in his training with Sasuke that we just haven't seen yet. And one of those abilities I'm confident will be Boruto's own variant of the Chidori with purple lightning. The reason Boruto uses purple lightning is because its power is on par with Chidori, and it's more controllable because it doesn't require the Sharingan to use it. So because Sasuke taught Boruto abilities like to conduct electricity through his blade, I believe he can basically wield this lightning on his hand, imitating the Chidori. And even though we haven't seen it from Boruto, doesn't mean he can't perform it, because most times than not, whenever he's in a situation to do it, he just does a Rasengan, which is probably the better option because it just has more destruction capability than purple lightning. And I've been making videos on this exact topic because I do think if this statement by Sasuke is accurate, meaning he taught Boruto almost everything he knows, then that definitely includes things like the purple lightning Chidori, or even how to utilize natural lightning to perform techniques like Kirin, which I will get into a second here. But first, I need to mention the possibility of Boruto adding Fire Style to his arsenal. I mentioned this a bit before, but to be honest, I think I really see this being a thing for Boruto in the future. Him adding a new chakra nature to his arsenal, so now he can use all 4 of lightning, wind, water, and fire. Boruto is considered a genius capable of mastering numerous of jutsu. Even Sasuke said he's a quick learner, what they call a genius. So theoretically, something like Fire Style shouldn't be a quote-unquote hard thing for him to master at all. And I like to think that Fire Style is a move in Sasuke's arsenal that he loves to do, right? It's one of his main abilities aside from Chidori. He has many Fire Style abilities that he could teach Boruto, which includes Phoenix Flower Jutsu, or even Dragon Flame Jutsu, which is a jutsu that acts as a gateway for other techniques like Kirin. So basically, I'm saying if you're one of those people who think there's a possibility that Sasuke taught Boruto Kirin, you must also think he taught him Fire Style, which goes hand in hand with that technique. So like I said, Kirin is an ability that utilizes natural lightning, so it's already different from the Chidori, and surprisingly, you don't need a Kekkei Genkai to perform Kirin, but you do need immense chakra control in lightning style. So the Sharingan can aid that process, but ultimately you do not need a Kekkei Genkai to perform Kirin. So I mean, the argument is like, okay, Boruto doesn't need the Sharingan to do it, so is this a technique that Sasuke would teach Boruto? And if you ask me, I would say it is, because since Kirin utilizes natural lightning, it cannot be absorbed by the otsutsuki. So actually, this is a really good technique for Boruto to learn. So yes, Sasuke uses Fire Style to make it rain so he can perform Kirin. Without Fire Style, Kirin is just too situational to really use. So that's why I said if you believe he can use Kirin, then he has to be able to use Fire Style. Not to mention, Boruto with Fire Style has been slightly foreshadowed in the anime before. And as it seems now, it's a perfect opportunity to implement this into the story because even both of his teachers, Sasuke and Kashin Koji, use Fire Style in their method of attacks. So thinking about it like that, I think it's more probable we see this first other than a purple lightning Chidori. Now the last physical thing that Sasuke passed down to Boruto is the ability called the Uchiha Flowing Blade Jutsu, Hagoromo. Now Hagoromo is a simple ability that every blade user should know. It's a jutsu that increases a blade's sharpness and prevents chipping by continuously encasing it in chakra. This was the ability that Sumire built into Boruto's sword when she was upgrading it. Now Boruto doesn't have to send chakra through the blade all the time. It'll automatically do it for him once he activates the jutsu. So this is another ability that Boruto learned that complements his style of fighting. And not only that, it increases its overall effectiveness with a blade. But now, generally speaking, that should be all the abilities that Sasuke has taught Boruto. Give or take, you want to include Kirin, that's already Sasuke's main arsenal passed down to Boruto. Shurikenjutsu, kenjutsu, and kenjutsu related abilities like the ability to encase his sword in lightning, also shuriken, maybe even his own body for all we know. Also Hagoromo, he also has abilities like purple lightning Chidori. But here is where we get into the mental aspect of the game. Because even with all these techniques, if you don't have the right mind going into battle, you will falter. And that's really important as a shinobi. So these are invaluable lessons that Sasuke is instilling in Boruto, like unwavering strength. If something like what happened to Boruto happens to anyone else, they would need just as much strength too. And that's one of the more underrated aspects of training, because training isn't all about physical endurance or technique. It's also just as much mental too. Without Boruto's mind being where it is now, he wouldn't be able to overcome what's happened to him thus far, losing his family, friends, his home, and now his master. And the only way to get him back is to stay focused and defeat these creatures that are as strong or even stronger than Code. It seems impossible, and it would be really easy to just give up. But when you have good role models to show you the way, and the proper mentality to have when the world throws you on your back, you will gain something even more valuable than physical strength: unwavering spirit. Spirit that will cause you to keep going no matter what disastrous events come your way. Sasuke affected Boruto's spirit, the way he thinks, and we constantly see this throughout the story. His determination and desire to save those who've been turned into a tree and rid the world of the shinju, stopping at nothing to do it, even literally making a deal with the devil. This happened a while ago, but of course it stuck with me because this is the reason Boruto is the way he is today. Prior to the events of the Momoshiki invasion arc, Sasuke told Naruto that the spirit of a shinobi never changes, no matter the times or era that they're in, and he ended up being correct. By teaching Boruto how to be a proper shinobi, he jammed that shinobi spirit into Boruto's head. This lesson began even before they went to go save Naruto from Momoshiki. The talk that they had beforehand, it really resonated with Boruto. It was here he learned what true strength was, what made a shinobi, what to do in times of darkness and despair like they were in that moment. Puff out your chest and approach the situation accordingly, never back away. And it was that lesson that encouraged him to even go with Sasuke to save Naruto. Then just seeing Sasuke and Naruto fight, that was just a cherry on top. Like I said, that whole sequence from top to bottom is what shaped Boruto to be the person he is today. And this lesson reflects on Boruto now, in not only how he thinks, but it's reflected in the way he fights too. Despite having almighty power of the otsutsuki, he still chooses to fight like a shinobi, using shinobi tactics to fight, ninja tools, etc. It's showing that even though physical appearance can sometimes change, The soul of a shinobi always remains, exactly like Sasuke said. So I give Sasuke a lot of credit when it comes to Boruto's strong mental resolve. Strong enough to even make Momoshiki accept defeat. So remember, when you look at Boruto now, always remember, this is what Sasuke created through his teachings and life lessons. But anyway, I think that'll be it. That's everything that Sasuke has taught Boruto so far. He could show us more techniques as the story goes on. So I guess this is gonna be a series-like video. I'm gonna have to keep updating it as we go. But that's it for now. So anyway, of course, if you enjoyed this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and drop that like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss another video like this or when I go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.